Welcome back to the Tavern. Oh, tonight's a doozy. There's something deeply dystopian about standing in a checkout line, realizing the system has developed extremely specific opinions about what struggling people are allowed to deserve. Cheap, unhealthy food? Fine, prove that one. Basic dignity? There's a lot of complicated paperwork with that one. Razors marketed to women, somehow $3 more because the plastic is pink, but it's still junk. Modern society has mastered a fascinating trick, taking people already under financial pressure and turning their existence into a premium subscription service. And the exhausting part? None of it feels surprising anymore to anyone. So tonight in the Tavern, on episode 530, Government Assistance and the Pink Tax, we ask, at what point did survival become a monetized obstacle course?
Put that long day behind you. Good times lie ahead. With company worth keeping, that'll bash a smile in your head. Come on in, the door's open. You'll find just the finest folks here. Pull up a chair, grab a drink, and lend our stories your ear. Cause we're the talk the tavern. Here you're always welcome. The talk the tavern. Promising beer and bedlam. The talk the tavern. Music, medicine, then some. The talk the tavern. The song's over. Here we come.
And welcome to the Tavern. I am Travis, and something a lot of people have frustration on both sides of the issue is government assistance when it comes to food and what people are allowed to have and are not. And I've heard both sides of this. But before we begin to talk about that, let's see who's in the tavern with us tonight. And by the way, I am drinking, what is this? Tin Cup Rye, which is a wonderful light blend with a full flavor. Love this shit. What about you, Andrea?
Oh, like always, the tea that I made at home and my fancy stemless wine glass. What about you, Ed?
I'm having Basil Hayden toast or Basil Hayden toast. He's from the South, so I'm sure it was pronounced Basil, which is made by Jim Beam. It gets a lot of flack because it's basically watered down to 80 proof.
Okay.
And so it catches a lot of flack. But I think if you want a good starter bourbon, this is a good starter bourbon because it doesn't have that harsh
Ed,
bourbon burn. Yeah.
before you put that down, hold that up to the camera because it's a very cool little feature of the bottle that it's wearing a belt.
It's wearing a belt. Yeah.
There's a metal strap around it with their little, what is that, HB or a BH?
BH. It's a BH. Yeah.
Does it have a bitch belt? Oh, it's Basil Hayden. Never mind.
You very good. Very good. Yeah. How about you, Kevin?
This evening, I am drinking Jack Rat's Honey Mead from a distillery in Devon that's probably about 30-40 miles from here. Very nice. My favourite out of their range. Yeah, it's not bad. It's a nice little drop. It's not overly sickly. Some meads can go way too heavy on the sweetness.
Oh, yeah.
This one kind of strikes that nice happy medium between the honey sweetness and a nice little bit of sharpness from the distillation process behind it. So
I'd love to try it because I've had very few meads that I went, okay, this is good.
So with some meads, especially cheap meads, you'll find that you can have a glass or two, and then it just becomes a bit much. Oh no, I want to switch to something else. It's become too sickly. But that bottle was full when I started, so that's
when you started tonight.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a lot of ciders where it's hard to find that nice medium.
But when you find one, yeah.
So this brand is one I like.
Okay, let's raise a glass to the toast of look, Everybody deserves to be able to afford to eat, but nobody should be getting extra shit and not having to do anything for it. Or not.
Here.
Okay, so this topic is something that we've touched on a lot, and a lot of people are going to take this one personally for whatever reason they decide to do that. So, for example, let's talk about the US. We call it food stamps or
Mm,
EBT or SNAP benefits, depending how old you are, what generation you are.
yeah.
UK, maybe something different, but government assistance for food is what we're talking about. And a lot of people have issues with this. They're like, so and so gets all this free stuff, and I have to work for mine. Other people are like, it's not enough. And we're
Hmm.
going to kind of cover both sides of it because I
Yeah.
have some complaints about what people are allowed to buy with it. Then I have
Hmm.
some complaints about why the fuck can't they buy this stuff.
Hmm.
Andrea, I know you have complaints about that too. Can you name some of the stuff that you cannot get on government assistance here in the States?
The food stamps particularly, you can't get toilet paper. They'll feed you. They'll give you all the stuff to put it in, but when it comes out,
Don't
that's your
care.
problem.
Mm.
Or diapers?
And see, that's a bad thing in this day and age. I mean, back in the old days, you had the Sears and Roebuck catalog, but now everything's on the internet. So yeah, you're supposed to wipe your ass with your iPad.
Well, if
Well,
you
I
can
not
can't
afford an
remember the last.
iPad.
I can't remember the last time Jehovah's Witness knocked on my front door and gave me some free copies of Light Tower. So
Right?
So what about you, Ed? What kind of stuff do you want to hit on this topic here?
I'm just kind of like going with the flow. I mean, I used to be more aware of what could and could not be purchased, but I
Mm-hmm.
think the rules have changed over the last couple of decades. So I'm not really sure what can't be purchased any longer. Uh
Well, the rules are only changing now. They have been the same for like 30 years since they went from the paper coupons to the card. And now they're finally starting to put restrictions on that, like no soda. Andre?
okay.
well, after this, I can go through some of the different things. So,
Wonderful. Kevin, you got any thoughts as we get started and rolling here? Any questions that you want to answer or topics you want to broach?
well, I think my main contribution tonight is going to be again to talk about differences across the pond because
Right.
this came up. I don't know if you remember, not in a show, but we often meet for about half an hour before we go live with you guys,
Correct. Yeah.
and we were chatting the shit before the show one night. And I'd seen something online related to this, and I don't know if you guys remember, I brought it up with you that it was talking about the fact that you couldn't get cooked chicken with it. So there were
Uh
restaurants advertising that you could use your stamps to buy raw chicken from them, and then for every bit of chicken you bought, they would cook it for you free of charge.
Yeah.
And we'll circle back round to this because I don't want to start monopolizing now. But the thing that surprised me was that you have restrictions at all, because the situation here is similar but very different. But we'll go into that in a minute.
Yeah. Yeah. Excellent. Okay. Andrea?
yes. Okay. So, now when my son was little and when I was growing up, we were poor. We used to stand in line and get the cans of meat and the block of cheese and the powdered milk and all that stuff. They don't do that. I don't think they do that anymore.
Well, I think
And then,
WIC has replaced that. And for anybody that doesn't know,
nope.
no, Andrea's saying no. WIC is for expecting or new mothers.
Mhm.
But I know you get extra things above and beyond SNAP EBT with that.
So, women, all right, WIC stands for Women and Infant Children. So it covers like peanut butter and milk and juice and formula. Because I got that when my son was little, he had to be on special formula that was expensive.
Does that one cover toilet paper or feminine hygiene products?
No, none of them cover that, but you can go to the health department and get free condoms. but not
Now,
feminine products.
yeah, and by the way, I want to point that out because sometimes when you say that, Andrea, it sounds like you're saying, "Oh, look, free condoms." No, what she's saying is, what the fuck? Why can you give free condoms, but you don't get something essential like feminine hygiene product? At least essential in our modern Western society.
Mhm.
Go ahead, Andrea.
Make your
Yeah.
own.
We could talk about
Not
that.
not everybody can.
That's
And
making
for
a comeback, Ed.
it is. Well,
I
it's
know.
been around for a while, but like
Mhm.
you get a preteen girl who starts her period for the first time, she doesn't know. She's
Yeah.
not gonna go, you know. But
Right.
anyway, so food stamps, it is now a card that you can swipe like a debit card. I remember when they came out. That was late 90s, early 2000s. Before that, it was paper. And if you would buy something and there was change back, they'd give you like the metal change, they'd give it back in change. So you'd have cash money. And some people would use that to go buy toilet paper or
Cigarettes,
beer.
beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why they did the card, so you can't do that anymore.
Okay, talk about what you cannot buy. You cannot buy beer or any kind of alcohol, cigarettes,
Right. Cigarettes.
medication, no Tylenol, no
Mm-mm.
ibuprofen, no paper goods like paper towels, toilet paper.
So
No cooked
not
food.
not even vitamins, probably.
No.
Go ahead,
Not
Andrea.
even prepared
Wow.
foods. Like if it's prepared and it's hot, you can't get it. Like Kevin was saying, a hot chicken, nope. But if they cooked a chicken and put it in the fridge overnight, yes. There's a lot of people that get benefits that are homeless
Mm-hmm.
or
Right.
moving or in between situations and they don't have access to a place to cook.
Right.
It's now it's been a long time since I've been on assistant, so I don't know all the changes other than what's in the news. So
But go ahead, Kev.
So I have a question because, as I said, the way you guys do this is a little different to us. So how does this work? Let's say, for example, I'm entitled to one of these cards, so I give them my card, however often they issue that.
hmm
Can I then just go into any supermarket and use that like I would
That
use a debit
accepts
card
it.
to buy my shopping? And
pretty
then
much.
I would assume I then have to go to a human cashier who can
No.
sort my items, or if I go to a self-checkout and I try and ring through something I can't afford, will it flag red and not let
No.
me buy it? How does it work?
You're issued a card with a certain amount each month. So you get, $5 or $500 or anywhere in between, depending on how many kids you have, et cetera, et cetera. Now, when you go through a self-checkout, it'll ring everything up normal and then ask you, how do you want to pay at the end? If you go, I want to
Right.
pay with SNAP EBT, you will then swipe that card and it will tell you you have this much of a balance remaining that wasn't able to be put onto that
Right. Okay.
card. So now give us another payment of something else.
Right.
Gotcha.
They try to make it streamlined so it doesn't embarrass people.
Yeah. So you're not
Yeah.
necessarily going to declare to anyone I'm on
Yeah.
this benefit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
That makes
I'm
sense.
fully supportive of that option.
I remember back in the old days, there were people that were on food stamps. That's what it was back in the old days.
That was a
Plus, they also received a check for government assistance.
True.
So they'd be there at the counter, and they pay for their food and groceries and everything that they could pay for with food stamps, and then they're reaching in their pocket, pulling out the bank envelope where they cashed their check, buying their cigarettes and beer, and it's like, why not just let them buy the cigarettes and beer on the food stamps? I mean,
Because people would spend too much on cigarettes and beer and not enough on food.
oh, okay. No kombucha or certain teas either.
Oh yeah, because if
Uh,
it's medicinal tea, like for sore throat or congestion, it's considered medicine. It won't cover it.
no shit.
No shit, because it's medicine.
Now,
I'm sorry, I said that out loud.
now, Kevin, you've told us it's different there.
Yeah.
For example, Ed's talking about this check where you could buy your cigarettes and beer, and you told us how's it work in UK? Why don't you go over that again?
Okay, so curiously enough, having just said, people that just buy too much cigarettes and beer, here in the UK, there are no limitations. So the way it works is your amount of benefit is calculated for you, and once a month on a predetermined day of the month, that money is just paid into your bank account. There's no checks and balances on what you
So
use that
you
money
spend it
for.
any way you want.
You spend it any way you want.
I could buy hookers and blow, or take a trip with it, or
Yeah.
whatever I want.
The onus of responsibility on what you do with that money is down to you. The state just says, this is the money we consider you to be entitled to. Here it is. Be responsible with it or not. Not our problem.
Or not. And if you spend it all, then too bad, so sad.
So what
Yeah,
I'm
don't come
hearing
running to us.
is
You're not getting any more. Yeah.
the American government is controlling their citizens more with this than a socialism government is.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not suggesting there's no control inherent in the system at all, and I'm not entirely sure I'd describe our current government as socialist either, but that's a whole different show. But
It's evil socialism.
Your
Ask
case.
anybody over here.
yeah, but
We'll pass it to you in a second, Ed. Go ahead.
Oh,
Jeff.
yeah.
there's a certain amount of control in the sense that the hoops you have to jump through to qualify for these payments and the regularity with which the information you have provided them for is reassessed is quite stringent.
It's I
Okay.
think every 3 months here that they confirm it again. I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
It used to be like once a year, every 6 months. They've really tightened down in the past 2 years.
I mean, I didn't understand the concept when, like I said, this is why it's, I've been around you guys for long enough now that I don't need to query every strange foible of American culture I come across online. But that one
Really
struck
quick,
me as-
one of our listeners, viewers says every 6 months.
6. Thank
Oh,
you.
okay. Yes, it's definitely far more frequently over here. It's
Really?
you don't have to go in and speak to them about it,
Mhm.
but they look at what your online and other sort of activity is, and you're assessed on quite a frequent basis. And if they think there's something different, they'll be up your ass straight away. Either prove your situation hasn't changed, or we're going to charge you because you owe us money, and you can't be made to pay it back.
I think that should be more automated, at least in the U.S., because they're monitoring how much you get each month.
Your bank account.
Yeah, and every paycheck you get, they are monitoring it, and they will cut that shit off right quick, which might... I've been on assistance before, and at one point in time, it was you went and reported every year or whatever. You had to redo it. It was a little easier than the first time, but at the tail end of my assistance, it was getting to the point that if I worked overtime that month, I had less money come for my food. So
It's
working
the same here.
yeah,
Right.
working overtime to
depends.
pay off extra bills, or
Yeah.
heaven forbid it's winter where your heating
said-
bill.
I
Go
should
ahead.
point out when I say it's different, there are two different kinds of benefits, and I'm not sure if it's just blanket for you guys or not. There's two different types of benefit here in the UK.
There's all
One
types
if-
here.
One, if you're fully unemployed, you have no employment, you don't work at all. And one, if you need money to supplement the fact that you have some kind of employment but not enough to survive on. And they're two different benefits. The one that's linked to your money, it works exactly the way you were suggesting, Travis. If I earn more money one month than I normally do, the amount of benefit I receive from the state will be reduced accordingly.
I want to comment on that because I think we need more of what you just said, Kevin. I think here in the United States, we need more of if I just don't make enough money, because we don't have very many programs for if I just don't make enough money. I remember my parents retired, trying to live on Social Security. They filed for food stamps, is what they called it back in those days. They sent them a letter that says, "Here's your $20 a month."
Andrea?
Andrea.
When my son was little, I didn't have a car, had to take the bus everywhere. I made, I think, $5.50 an hour, and I had to pay childcare. They said I made too much money a month. I got $5 a month. What are you gonna do with $5 a month?
And
Right.
also, her childcare, even in the early 2000s, late 1900s, it was $3 an hour for a babysitter, a teenage babysitter, not a professional service. To have a
And
teenager
I
sit
made
in your
around 6 an hour, so they made half of my pay,
plus she still had to pay a rent, electric,
and taxes, and
take her $5 in food stamps and go get lunch.
no, that barely paid milk,
Yeah.
you know? So
Yeah,
it's
that's
like
just
they
it's a
won't help
joke.
you.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's a joke. Listener viewer says if you have a change in your income, you have 10 days to report that, or 14 days, actually 2 weeks. No, just business days. Um, and I imagine if you don't report it in that time and they find out, the wrath of God is coming down on you. But I want to back up a little bit about what Kevin said earlier. They just get money there with no restrictions and so forth and so on. Because I'm a little torn on that. A part of me says, yes, that's good because you're still putting the responsibility on the recipient.
Right.
And then another part of me says, because the big thing here in the United States, of course, is taking care of the children.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're putting that responsibility back on the recipient and they're somewhat irresponsible,
Mhm.
the children don't get taken care of.
Yeah, that is a very real danger. And it's also a criticism of people who look in from the outside, who aren't in poverty, who look
Mhm.
at poor sections of our populace and say, well, they're not poor. They've all got smart TVs and this, that, and the other. Yeah, because
Right.
they're irresponsible fucks. The government gave them a big check of money and they should have gone and fed their kids, but they went out and bought a 50-inch flat screen. It's,
Well, I was in a store last week and a 50-inch flat screen was under $300.
Mhm.
Isn't that
Yeah,
crazy?
I know.
Fucking
Yeah.
kills me. So when people are like, "Oh, in the '90s you had all this compared to us," yeah, but our TVs were 19-inch and they cost $300 for a 19-inch.
19-inch TV, yeah.
You know, and that's a
I,
solid state. So it's a different. Yeah. Sorry, Kev.
quick
Go ahead.
question. It's kind of related, but slightly off tangent. But do you guys have any kind of TV series in the US where they make rich people and poor people swap places for a week?
We have, but we're
We
having.
have,
Go ahead, Ed.
Because we have one in
and
this
one of the
country.
big ones right now is I can't think of the title, but it's basically where the president of the company or owner of the company goes, pretends like
The
he's
hidden
just a
boss thing.
Secret boss.
yeah,
Yeah.
the hidden boss thing.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one of the big ones
So
right now.
the one we have here is literally what we're talking about. They take a family that say, I don't know, the guy works in the city, has a well-paid finance job. He's earning, let's say, I'm plucking figures out of thin air, but
Sure.
he earns £100,000 a month.
Wow.
And then they take a family that are on state benefits that are getting maybe, a couple of £100 a month,
Right.
if they're lucky. And for a week, they swap places. They go and live in each other's houses, and they're given a week's worth of each other's money. And there was a fantastic one recently. It's not my kind of thing. I normally, to be fair, just because of the format, I despise all of reality TV.
I'm with you.
Mhm.
But this one was absolutely brilliant because there's normally a certain level of shock both ways. Wow, look at their house. Wow, look at all these expensive things they have. Oh my God, we can take the kids out and go to Nando's and eat whatever we want.
Right.
That side of it's interesting, that they're given access to all this cash and all they want to do is have a big feed. That tells you a lot about how they live their life normally. But what's more interesting is the other way around. When you take someone who's never experienced poverty and go, this is what we give our poor to live on a week.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
by day 2, they are in literal tears.
Let me out of here. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's very interesting. This is kind of what I was alluding to when I was saying about people on the outside looking in. Do our poor have smart TVs? Yeah. Come and live in their house. Watch their smart TV for a week whilst you eat Pop-Tarts for the entire week because it's the only thing you can afford.
Yeah. Or spaghetti.
Tell me how happy you are at the end of
Canned
the week.
sauce, not fucking fresh.
I bought a 50-inch flat screen TV because it's the only escape I have from this horrendous life I try and lead.
Yeah. Talk about trying to give yourself meaning when you're on that kind of. So, something else I want to point a tangent real quick.
Go ahead.
Reality TV is finally getting a lashback here in the U.S.
Good.
They've been so negative and attacking. There's actually where the corporations are stepping back and redoing it, and you're getting a lot more positive shows, which we've had a few. Generally, any British reality TV is more positive than the US.
Oh, the baking shows. I love them.
Especially British baking shows. Exactly, Andrea. There was one done by Sears where they would go redo somebody's house, somebody who's in financial dire straits, and
Yeah,
basically,
we have similar things for
Yeah.
DRA, SOS and stuff. Yeah.
oh, I tell you what, whoever was the editor and director of these fucking shows, like every damn time you'd be at the very end, and it was so touching.
We asked for 3 local tradesmen to come and help, and 300 members of the community turned up with
Right.
all their tools and trucks, and look what we've done. And
Move the
yeah.
bus. Yeah. I just remember that show. It was so.
But one of the bad things about that show, Travis, was we didn't get to really see the reality of it afterwards.
Right.
When the tax man showed up.
Right.
I was just about to say what you're missing is the real truth of the reveal at the end. They had a lovely garden where they could have grown their own vegetables, but we tore it out and gave them a jacuzzi.
Well, there's also other things, because if you take somebody who's in financial dire straits all their life, they're in panic mode. People with money learn to plan because they can. People who are poor, such as myself, not being able to throw away food, as I mentioned on a previous episode, we are in constant fight or flight. We have to act quickly and aggressively. This is why we're wired, we're trained, we're programmed to spend our money quickly, because we know it's not staying with us. When you have money come in, you're taught to plan because you have this surplus. So you can plan for those rainy days. You can put that money away for that car down payment and drop $10,000 as a down payment, or to replace your roof, or when that water heater goes out and you got to fix it. But poor people, no, we're used to financing up to the eyeballs. And anytime we get a surplus, we're buying that 52-inch flat screen TV. This is what we're taught. And I'm not saying it's right. I'm not even saying it's a fucking excuse. We're adults. We can make up our own minds. But my inclination, being raised that way, is still spend that money while I have it, because it might not be back here.
Yeah. And tomorrow's not promised anyway. So
Right. So, as much as I want to keep talking about this, I want to cover a couple of things. I want to cover what we think people on assistance should not be able to buy, and then I want to go into the pink tax, where I think Andrea's going to have a lot more to say than she has so far. So a few things I think people shouldn't be able to buy using SNAP, EBT, assistance, whatever. Junk food.
Yeah.
Junk food. And I'm sorry to say that. I love my junk food, but when it comes down to anything with no nutritional value or negative nutritional value, you should not be able to buy an energy drink with government assistance. You should not be able to buy soda.
Well,
of course, how far does this
Andrea,
go?
please.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate here.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So I remember working several jobs. I don't drink energy drinks, but what if that mother is working several jobs, still needs assistant, has to deal with the kids in the home and all this stuff? Let her get an energy drink so she
If
can make
she's
it through the
working
day.
several jobs, she's only getting $5 anyway and can't afford an energy drink cover assistance. Problem solved. But yeah.
Also, and if you don't want people knowing you're on it, if you can't buy these things and your kids are young and they go to school and they get bullied because they don't have the snack things, they're going with carrots instead of,
How many
it's a
times
whole.
do you remember growing up people getting picked on because obviously they were on the free lunch program at school?
Oh, that was me. I was picked on.
Ed?
Going back to a previous episode, the generational thing.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Growing up back in the day, you didn't tell anybody.
Why, Ed?
I don't know why.
Kevin, do you know why?
I didn't get a choice. Well, I didn't get a choice.
What do you mean?
You couldn't hide it when I was a kid.
Right.
So
Mm.
when I grew up, we were all right when I was first at school.
Right.
But my mother passed
Mhm.
away when I was relatively young, and we went through a period of hardship for a few years whilst
Sure. Yeah.
we got to the point where we could look after ourselves at home, because it meant my dad was having to work less hours because he was having to balance earning and looking after two young children on
Mhm.
his own, albeit with assistance from grandmas. Anyway, during that period, I got free school lunches. And this was before the era of electronic cards. Now, if you had money, you went up to the school canteen, everything had individual prices on, you bought what you wanted or didn't want.
Wow. Lucky you.
If you were on free meals, like me, you had a card and you had one starter item. It's a bit like meal deals today. You know, you have one item from this section, one item from that section, one piece of pudding, one fruit, one drink or whatever, you know. And you had a card for each day, which had a square. This is, square for starter, square for main course, square for, and they would literally stab it, punch it with a pencil
Punch
to
it.
show
Yep.
that you'd
Punch
had
it.
You could not get your food without handing your card over to it. There was no way of hiding that from your friends. They knew you were on free school meals.
But being a boomer here, since I'm the only one, way back in the day, the word welfare, because that's what they called it way back then, there was such a negative stigma attached to it that nobody didn't tell anyone if
Right.
they were getting assistance of any kind. But when that truck pulled up, and Andrea mentioned this earlier, when that truck pulled up at the office uptown with the government cheese, every motherfucker was up there.
Why,
Oh, yeah.
Ed?
Because that was some good fucking cheese.
That's right.
Even as a
Stand
Brit,
in line for a couple hours and
largely thanks to 80s hip hop and 90s gangster rap, even a Brit like me is aware of the existence of government cheese and its appeal to the community.
And where I grew up was such a small community. It didn't matter your how much money you were making or anything. When the truck pulled up, somebody made a call and they called two friends and they called two friends, and everybody was standing in line to get government cheese. Nothing mattered, man, because they just handed it out.
So, is there anything you guys think people should not be able to get using the
I
food?
kind of agree with from what I said earlier, because worrying about the kids. Okay.
Right.
I kind of agree with not purchasing non-nutritional stuff when you're getting that type of assistance. And it can go back to the last show, eating better, eating cleaner, eating cheaper.
Right. Or is it not our fucking business, and should they be able to get whatever they want like they can in the UK?
Kev?
My opinion is the answer lies between the two. So I fully understand the point of view that you shouldn't be able to buy cheap, shitty, convenience fast food with government food stamps. But what I don't understand is you limiting somebody, like we were saying earlier, you can have raw chicken, but you can't have cooked chicken. That seems like
that's
a
silly.
petty and minimalist distinction to me. Instead, you can use your government food stamps at, I don't know, Target, Walmart, whatever. You can't use it in KFC. You can't use it in McDonald's. It's not accepted
Yes,
in Burger
yeah.
King. Limit
Yeah.
it to the stores, the chains
Supermarkets.
that do not also have ready-made fast food. My local supermarket doesn't do fast food, but I can go and buy a rotisserie chicken if I want one that's sat there turning on a spit.
Same here.
Right.
Why
Yeah.
am I limited to not buying that? It's no different to any other food product. And I get where you're coming from in terms of if you're living poor, we should force you to eat healthy. But we said in the last show when we covered this topic that there is a trade-off. If you want cheap, you need to invest time. Just lovely if you have time. But going back to Andrea's example earlier, what if mum's on her own, dad's absent, she's got 3 kids, she's holding down 3 jobs, trying to cover the bills, whatever. She might not have time to be doing a lot of fresh cooking.
And
Why are we
also,
stopping her from buying things like instant noodles? They're
right.
shitty, they're not good for you, but they will cover the kids for a meal
But
until
also,
you can give them a better meal another day.
even the boxes of 12 snack cakes. I'm saying, oh, you shouldn't be able to get that. But maybe that's the only sweet treat those kids get. Or that adult
Yeah.
gets for that matter. Or that
Mhm.
70-year-old widow. That's the only pleasure they're getting food
I
wise.
think
Maybe it's wrong of me to say you can't have that shit.
I think there's more grounds for that, if anything, to argue for that in your country as well. Because although we're relatively diverse, you certainly have an incredibly multicultural, diverse population where here I can go to certain cities and see a predominance of one ethnicity or another.
Right.
In America, pretty much any large city has a mix of all cultures you find throughout America. And it's all very well saying you can have this, but you can't have that, which is great if that works for your culture. But what happens if something that's perfectly all right for you, a white Caucasian person, is something this culture doesn't need? So that's what bothers me about these limitations. Like, who is it actually serving? Is it actually having a positive effect for the people on this benefit?
There you go.
But I
Or
could get chitlins, baby.
is it having a negative effect by making them feel watched and tracked? Ed?
I got an interesting side text. Somebody watching the show. Apparently, previously, now they didn't say how long ago, convicted felons couldn't get assistance.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Intriguing.
I did not know that.
That was out of my purview of experience.
Yeah.
So even if you've served the sentence allotted to you, if you've got a previous criminal conviction, you're barred from getting government food assistance.
Yeah, apparently so.
Maybe not
Previously,
now,
so
but
I'm
yeah.
going to say that's been erased now. But yeah, I never knew that.
Well, something I heard, I don't know if it still is, but years ago, if someone marries an American and moves here and lives
Mhm.
here and all that, but then they divorce, split up, or whatever, that person cannot get any benefits, even if they're legal through marriage and stuff. And I'm like,
Unless they're a
that's not
naturalized
right.
citizen.
Hang on. Sorry, bear with me 2 seconds. Cindy, the deal's off.
Unless they live in Minnesota.
Oh, don't you know? Andrea, anything to add to this before we move on to the pink tax with what should and should not be allowed? Because you've
You
dealt
know,
with
I
that
just want to
as I have.
say I'm not in their situation. It's not my business. Just like, you know, I don't think the government should have say,
Right.
to be honest.
Because is
Well,
that just
but
old
the
white
government's
men?
paying for it.
Well, no. If you
Or
ask the
we're paying
citizenry,
for
right? It's
it.
we all paid for their
But
food, so we should be able to tell them what to eat.
but they may
Oh.
have paid for it and they may have worked and put into the system, but they need assistance now. So
I'd just like to point out, by the way, for anybody outside of the UK, I don't want to give the impression from what I've said tonight that that is the default, that everybody who is given benefit money here spends it on crap. 90% of people who are given this money use it to feed their families.
Right.
Before I give the wrong impression that because we don't control it,
I don't
it's
think you gave that
everyone
impression.
wastes it.
Sound like
No,
your
no, they
people are
have the
more
option.
responsible.
They just choose the better.
Yeah.
But Americans
Some
are more
people do.
irresponsible than you Brits are.
Yeah,
I
just
mean,
ask any American.
there's small factors like we don't have meth, so
Oh, we'll send you
Yes.
some. We have it at Walmart now.
oh please do. A
Okay.
kilo of meth with every gun purchased.
Ooh, we're gonna get rich and buy TVs. Andrea and everybody else, let's talk about that pink tax. Now, again, this is not necessarily a common knowledge term in the U.S. Andrea, would you like to define this? If not, we'll pass it to Kevin, the second most feminine of us.
Well, it's basically charging more for the pink version or a women's product as opposed to a men's. They charge more and more taxes.
For example,
That pink razors.
right? Whether
I
they're
buy
pink
men's
or not,
razors.
women's razors.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be pink.
I buy men's razors. They last longer. They're
Women's
cheaper.
shampoo and deodorant. Though men's deodorant really has climbed to fucking prices lately.
Yeah.
Yeah, and hair products because you guys are bougie now.
Right. Right.
So
Or
I want to
Metro. Get it correct.
That lasted 2
because
years before we lost that. Go ahead, Andrea. Sorry.
Kevin knows more about this over there because I think it's more prominent over there. What do they say it is over there, Kevin?
Well, it is similar, yeah, and not just the markup on very similar looking and very similar functioning products when they're designed for the female market, but you hit the head on something perfectly earlier. Let's loop back round to that comment earlier about free condoms. Men can choose to have
Jesus.
sex or not. Now, 99.98% of time, men will choose always to have sex. Thank you very much. But
I'll have 2,
sex
please.
is optional. A woman experiencing a period is not.
Just 2?
Why are condoms free and you have to pay for tampons?
Right.
Or whatever sanitary product, I'm
Yeah.
not singling out tampons, but yeah, where's the logic in that?
Ed?
Oh, you want to have sex? Well, we
I
don't
can
want to
tell
spoil your
you.
children.
I can tell you exactly why.
Mm.
Because nobody wants to wear those fucking condoms anyway. So I guess they figure if they give them away, they might wear them.
That's true. Because irresponsible men. Especially when women have to pick up the condoms while they're getting stuff because the men ain't gonna fucking bring them with them.
True.
I don't have anything against them. I could just never work out what kind of knot you're supposed to tie in the spare bit at the end. I don't know.
You have spare at the end?
Oh, yeah.
Just because it says hefty on the side.
I refer the honourable lady to her comment about free burlap sacks in the previous show.
So the pink tax is women
It's real.
being charged for things that are either a necessity or being charged extra because they're a woman, and we found we can sell them fucking pants with no pockets in them and triple the price over men's jeans. We can, yeah, Ed.
Well, go ahead. Go ahead. And I'll come in at the
I'm
end.
just prattling on with a few examples to give our listenership.
Okay. Well, I did because when I saw the topic, and we have touched on it before, so I just jumped on Amazon real quick and I looked up 3 things. And my wife and I both use soaps that are made by the same company. Okay, one of them is made for women, one of them is made for men. The women's soap, it's $1 more a bar.
Same ounces?
Same ounces.
Okay,
Same
because
size.
that's something else. You be it's the same price, but the women's bar is 3/4 the weight.
It was the same size. Okay, shave butter, $2 difference between the shave butter for the women and the shave butter for the men.
And what's the difference in those?
Same
Packaging,
size.
probably.
But same
size.
same scent,
Now,
same product.
different scents for the woman than it is for the man, and the same with the soap. And I just did razor blades real quick. Now, razor blades, I found what she uses and what I use were pretty much even. Now, I'm sure there's others out there that are more expensive. But here's the ultimate question. Is it because women are more gullible and more concerned with beauty, so they'll go ahead and pay that anyway?
Yes and no. I don't think they're necessarily more gullible, but it's absolutely to do with the frequency of use.
Hey, Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
Finish this thought quick. I saw Andrea's face. You should have let her talk first, dude.
Go.
No, just because she's a woman, you should have let her talk first on this one. Fucking man stepped up to.
Women are marketed all of these products to feel inferior and bad about herself, and they're like, you need this and you need this, so you need these 50 products. Where this guy only needs one. They're fine. It's okay if they age.
Absolutely.
It's okay if they're whatever. But women, that's the problem.
That's the problem. Because I am one of those guys. I will take my bottle of soap, wash my hair, wash my nuts, wash all of my body with it. Women will rarely do that. Hey, if it's Dr. Bonner's peppermint.
Right. Yeah,
I think that's a really interesting point there.
They're selling women's self-esteem.
Yes.
Do you know
Andrea.
why women shave now? Because of Gillette.
Yes. Yep.
When men stopped grooming, they're like, well, how can we sell this product? So they market it to women. Shave your pits,
She's
shave
absolutely
your
right.
legs, shave everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was in the
Yeah.
30s or 40s when women started entering the workforce that this happened, right?
Silent movies.
Okay. Kevin?
So it's funny you should mention Gillette because they actually got prosecuted successfully here in the UK a little while back now,
Oh.
10, 15 years ago more. They made, I don't know if they're branded the same over there. There was a razor that they made for women that was called Venus.
Yes.
Yes.
And okay, so somebody went to court and sued them under the Trades Description Act in the UK because they analysed using a 3D scanner, believe it or not, a lady's Venus razor and a men's Mach 3 razor, which was the nearest similar design. And they found that the only difference between the two products was that one was dyed pink and called Venus, but the other one was more expensive because it was marketed for women. And they were actually successfully sued and forced to change the price on both products to the same price
Hmm.
By the way, can I say this
because
real
they were the
quick?
same product.
If you're stuck on this sort of thing, because men's razors now, you buy the razor, it costs you $12. You buy the razor heads, well, the one you bought for $12 came with 3 heads.
Mhm.
3
And you're
hits.
supposed to change them for some men fucking daily. For people like me, I can go a month on one razor before it gets too dull.
3 shaves.
Yeah, my hair is so fine, it's no big deal. But with some of these, when you're buying that replacement pack for 12 heads, it is triple the price of the original
Yes.
razor. Let alone
Yeah.
if you want 36 heads, you're literally dropping $40. And I might be
Oh,
off
you
on these prices, by the way, folks.
and
So
they don't fit each other. Yo, you got a Mach 3
Right.
Gillette razor. Sorry,
yeah,
the
you're
Mach 4 blades don't clip into that.
yep.
Andre?
Yep.
Well, and
Andrea?
they're all safety razors.
Right.
You can't find the other kind anymore. I would love to
No.
have one.
I have them,
You can hear.
and you can find them. You have to buy
And you
the
still can get straight razors too, by the way.
See, you can't in this country. Well, you can and you can't.
But
The kind that has like the square blade that you just put
Uh-huh.
on there and you screw
Yep.
it down.
I've got
Yep,
one in
sure
my
can.
cabinet if you want it, but you do have to be careful because if you angle that wrong, that corner will catch you and cut you. And you want to make sure it's a fresh razor blade.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, you can still
Free
get those,
circumcision.
which was what I'm going for. Don't use that on your balls. Oh my god.
But
Do you know why?
Go ahead,
do you know
Kev.
why circumcision's so popular?
Why?
Because Jewish women won't take anything that's not 15% off.
but I'm Bob.
Ed,
Thank
what were
you.
you
But
gonna
yeah.
say?
The shaving thing, silent movies is what started shaving for women in this country. Because when they started making silent movies, women in those movies shaved everything. And all of a sudden, women, oh, that's what I got to look like to be beautiful. That's
Standard of
it,
beauty.
the standard. Yep,
Right.
that's it, the standard of beauty.
So, the pink tax. Bringing it all back to what we were talking about. Women are being charged more. Which, you know what? Look at other products. If the women all start buying men's razors or men's soap, and why do we need 8 different beauty products on every day with
Hmm.
6 different fucking scents? So now you're this collage of aroma. Kevin, what were you going to
Mhm.
say before I go on?
So women get charged more for beauty products for now. How does any market work? You want to advertise a new product to somebody or a product you've got to somebody who hasn't used
Mhm.
it before. So you go in low ball, right? You generate the interest and the use of
Right.
the product. Then you gradually lift the price once everyone's got used to it
Correct.
being part of their
Oh.
daily life. Now, let me ask
Oh,
you
yeah.
a question. You go back 30 years, 40 years. How many of our fathers, our grandfathers who grew beards, used beard oil?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Now they were
It's-
using
I-
lotion.
if I walk into a
Lotion.
if I walk into a chemist or any kind of market that sells medicinal and grooming products now, shelves upon shelves of different brands of male deodorant, shaving products. Why are ours cheaper? because traditionally we didn't care about that shit anywhere near as much as women did. For whatever reason, society has trained women, like Andrea said, to think that they need a lot of things that they don't need. The higher prices are charged to them because to them, whether they actually need it or not, these things have now become intrinsic as a part of what it is to be a woman. Men don't give a fuck. So okay, look, I want you to buy my beard oil. If women grew beards, it'd be $10 a bottle. But you don't want to buy it. I tell you what, have a bottle for $2. Feel how silky your beard is. Come back and buy another one in a month's time. Now I've got you buying products you didn't buy before, and now gradually over time, admittedly behind the women in the price curve, but your male prices will start to rise. And I think that's a big part of it as well. It's just the generational gap.
Let me add on to this, Kevin.
Yeah.
Traditionally, you were saying they'd start cheap, slowly raise prices. They don't even need to do that anymore, Kevin. We have social media. We have what you call influencers, who these
Yeah.
companies pay them per visit when somebody uses their discount code, and they're free products. So now you don't have that slow growth and launch. You have somebody come out with a new product, they throw it to influencers, they get millions of views in that first week so they could launch it at a higher price than they ever did, and then do the slow price raising over the next 3 years. And this
Yeah.
is how they do things now, which
Now,
means
yeah.
if you're a small company, which a lot of these beard companies were small companies, and any of the big names who have beard products like beard oil, beard butter. By the way, you do have beard oil, beard butter, beard lotion.
Beard cream.
Yeah, and we're not even, and you might, they're like, you should use all three of these. What? There we go.
You know,
What are you putting that on, Ed? Your whole head is shaved except your eyebrows.
I use it as an aftershave.
Oh, okay. I still
Yeah.
like Old
so,
Spice. Yeah.
like I can make all this stuff. And the difference is the consistency.
Mm.
That's all. You don't need all of them. Pick your favorite if you want it.
Yeah. Beard butter, beard lotion, and beard oil. How do you make beard lotion? Well, you add beard oil to lotion, to a lotion base. How do you make beard butter? You water that lotion down a little so it's thinner. Not what literally water, but you know. So that's
Okay.
again, yeah.
I got to talk about a side conversation because I'm having a side conversation with my daughter here.
I'm so curious.
And she says she buys men's soaps, shampoo, deodorant, and razors. And I told her, skip the razors. It's overrated. And she said, well, a certain fellow might not agree. So the father that I am and trying to be helpful, he's not the one then. Move on.
Preach, brother.
True.
Which that's advice Ed has given me previously before I met Andrea. And it's right. If you're comfortable a certain way and you're changing that for other people, stop that shit. They're not the one. You will not be happy long term if you have to change or adjust or modify yourself to please anybody but yourself. You will
That
find.
argument.
Go ahead, Kev.
Yeah, that argument is the reason for my first ever tattoo, although they are now myriad. I was dating a girl at the time, and she and her friend were having a conversation in front of me and my best friend at the time. Oh, I could never date a man with tattoos. They're ugly. They're horrible. And me playing devil's advocate was like, so are you suggesting if I went out and got a tattoo this afternoon and came back that suddenly I would be intrinsically less lovable as your boyfriend than I am now? Just because... And she was
Fucking
like,
rebel.
oh, yeah, no, yeah. So, yeah, and we literally both came back with tattoos later that afternoon just to prove the point. Are we getting dumped then or what?
I love Andrea's face to that story.
There you go, folks. That's where that dragon came from 36 odd years ago.
So, yeah, it's one of those things. You be who you are. And there are times Andrea is still amazed that I accept her for who she is.
I'm going to way overshare here right now
great.
about
Okay.
the
Let's do
being who
that.
you are.
There you
Okay.
go.
Because
How unusual for you.
very, very early on, and I mean early on in Teresa and I's relationship. Okay. We're talking about things about each other. And she's like, yeah. And I shave as if that was supposed to impress me. I was like, oh well, okay, you know. And then when we got together, and I'm talking, hippie chick doesn't bother me. Grow your hair, grow your legs, grow your armpits. I don't give a shit. She was like, really? And I was like, because she is a hairy girl. Okay, I will tell you, she's a hairy girl. I was like, yeah, I don't care about that bullshit. Just as long as it looks pretty good to me. I don't care about the rest of it.
Right. Right.
She was absolutely fucking thrilled.
See, with me, it was just my interest in decor, and that was the same thing for Andrea. She liked to dress up and play make-believe. She
Sure,
liked to play with toys and dolls
sure.
as an adult. And she had previous relationships that were, frankly, little fucking cunts about it. Very
Well, and that
much
was her. She
right.
thought because of demands of other men in her past, that was going to be something that was going to excite me. And it's like,
Hey,
no.
look, I love a shaved pussy, but I love one with hair on it too. I'm just happy to have pussy. It's,
I don't discriminate.
and if any guy has a problem with it, he can go get a fleshlight. They're hairless.
Can I just ask, am I the only one hearing Cheech Marin's speech from Dusk Till Dawn in my head at the moment? The people who just laughed, you're my people.
You were, but now we're all hearing it. I just remember the pussy part. We got hairy pussy. We got naked pussy. But, yeah. Where were we?
We were good last episode, so we had to go there this episode.
Well, are we still talking about the pink tax?
One way or the other, we are.
Well, yeah.
It's all pink on the inside.
I think part of what we're trying to say is trying desperately to claw it back on track. That
that's
what we're
Kevin
seeing
doing
in
it. We must be off.
Yeah, I know. You know, it's a fucked up episode when I'm the one trying to bring it back to the topic. The reason we're seeing this price difference is this real or not, or preconceived, the difference between something that is a required necessity or an optional extra.
Yes.
With a lot of these things for men, they are even condoms.
Right.
Men say they're regarded as an optional extra. Do you like wearing condoms? Do you not? You might want a condom. You might not. Women, unlucky. You're going to bleed every 28 days or less or more, depending on your cycle, ladies. I'm aware it's not fixed. Why are we benefiting men and not women? It's a ridiculous concept. It makes absolutely no sense whatsoever when one side largely has free will and choice over it, and the other side does not.
For all the men that go, it doesn't affect me if women have to pay extra. If you're looking for any kind of long-term relationship with a woman, it does affect you.
Yeah,
and
that's
even
not her money, dude. It's your money. It's our money.
Kind of long-term relationship with a woman. Your mother, she's paying this shit. Your kids, they're paying this shit. So even if you're like, well, I'm never dating a woman, doesn't matter.
And also, not being funny, but the initial impression you're giving off is it doesn't impact me, which is another way of saying I don't really give a shit about this bitch.
Right. Right.
Do you care about your woman? Then care about the things that impact her life. And this is a massive thing. Men
Kevin,
don't
it
get
doesn't even have to be romantic. It could be just your best friend. You know, it does affect you because if you're like, well, my mother's dead. I don't have any kids, but I love hanging out with this chick, even though we're not romantic. Well, she is not going to be able to go out as often because she is paying 20% more.
Well, exactly. If one of the things you like hanging out with her about is the way her hair smells, or the cologne she wears, or the perfume she wears, or whatever, you have to take into account that she's paying more for that than you are.
And it's largely a part of, and apologies, gentlemen, I know you'll support me because you know this is the truth, but fuck the patriarchy, because this is what's behind it. That sexual divide for so many generations is what's taught us that women, if men were forced to have menstrual cramps once a month and we bled, watch how fast tampons become free overnight. The reason they're not is because the people who made these decisions for so long have been largely predominantly male orientated, and they've gone, that's just women.
And here's the thing, I'm not saying because there's so many things. If you ever go in the feminine product aisle, there's
Yeah.
so many things. I'm not saying that all of that should be free. No. Basic necessity. Give that.
Yeah.
If someone wants to spend extra on this other product, there you go. But at least give them the basic.
Basic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, bring it back to the
Travis.
original topic. If you're on assistance, these things are culturally required in our Western society now.
So here's the thing. Amazon. You hear bad things about it. I mean, I work there. It's got its perks, and you guys wouldn't know even if you did work there. But in the women's restrooms, they took out the vending machines, and all the feminine products are free. They have
Yeah.
baskets of it, and I think that is awesome.
Kevin?
There is a pool hall in my hometown back on the Isle of Wight, where I come from, that is run by a female manageress. And they are the busiest venue in town. And one of the reasons is a golden rule of bartending: where you bring the ladies, the men will follow. Pool hall, not traditionally, I don't know if it's different over there, but not traditionally a place associated more with women than men. Until
A
she
few women.
decided, yeah, until she decided that there is always, not just in the ladies' bathrooms, but behind the bar, and they advertise this on their social media. Do you need sanitary products while you're on a night out with us? Don't cut your night short. We have free pads, tampons, whatever you need. It's free. Just ask our
Nice.
staff. So women will go
That's a good
there,
selling point.
knowing that even if it's a time of the month where they might be affected by that thing or not, they can go in and go, hey, can I grab one of those? Yeah, absolutely. Of course you can. No need to go home. No need to panic about last minute emergencies. Oh, it might be tomorrow. It might be 3 days, but do I want to take the risk? Maybe I won't go out tonight. No, fuck it. I'll go for a night out. I can get something for free off them. And it's that cost. It's that, but I've only got a few. And I can't afford any more till payday. So I want to keep them at home. So maybe I'll just stay here. And yeah, absolutely. Why are we not doing more of these things?
Let me also bring this up. Ed, did you have something to say before I go into this?
Well, yeah. I had a friend several years ago, and we were having this very conversation about women having to pay more for products than men do, and she actually told us about. And I don't know what the product is, Andrea. You may be familiar, or one of our viewers may be familiar. Okay, a product where after you shave your underarms, and of course you might still have the dark stubble if you're a dark-haired woman, you put this product on and it will fade the hair so that you don't see
Like bleach it?
any darkness. You bleach it basically. And
I don't know what you call
she
it, but I've
said,
been using it for years. Just here, look.
yeah, bitch. And she said, I actually thought for a minute, yeah, I need that. And I just remember why.
Want to
But
comment on
anyway.
that, Andrea? Before I go on with this next thing?
Not really.
Okay. In our last
Do you need that, Andrea?
No,
In
no,
our
no.
last episode, we discussed shopping smarter to save money and how it can stretch your dollar and be better. Something Andrea has looked into, something Andrea has made, is
What?
her own reusable pads. This is something they used to have.
Mm-hmm.
And then as cloth diapers disappeared and regular diapers, what we call regular diapers now, were invented and popularized, they did the same thing with menstruation pads.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's people that make their own. There's a lot of nice stores on Etsy that make them or do custom ones. And some people are like, "Oh, that's gross." No, it's just like your clothes. It's another
well, a lot of
clothing
women have
option.
period
The
panties that they wear with their pads whenever they have their period, because these are the ones that regularly get some stains. So, yeah. What, Kevin?
I don't know if you've heard this before. I don't even know if it's a specifically UK joke, but there's a joke over here where a man is heading to the shop and his wife says, "Hey, can you pick me up some tampons while you're at the shop?" And he comes back and he hands her a reel of cotton thread and a bag of cotton wool balls. And she says, "What the fuck is this?" And he says, "Well, last week when you were going to the shop, I asked you to buy me some cigarettes and you came back with rolling tobacco and Rizzlers and told me it was cheaper to roll my own."
Oh my goodness.
Okay, since we are 3 guys to 1 lady, Travis had to go to the store to buy feminine products for your wife. Are you embarrassed?
No, never. I am more
Kevin.
embarrassed to buy porn.
Okay, all right.
So
Okay,
he buys my tampons, I buy his porn. It's okay.
okay. You just said that works. Hey, if it works for you,
Buying
yeah.
products for my partner doesn't bother me in the slightest. Buying porn, it only bothers me because of the kind of porn I'm into.
And you, Ed?
Oh no, I've done. I remember it. I don't know, 16 years old. My mother came to me and said, "Ed, I need you to go to the store for me, but it's really, really embarrassing." And then she told me what she needed. I was like, "Oh, okay, Mom." Jumped on my bike, went right up to the store, and
Now, how bad must your mother have been that day that she didn't go herself?
It must have been
Yeah.
bad that she didn't go herself.
How bad
but-
were her cramps or her
Oh,
flow
I have no idea.
to have
That's
your
another
son?
But
Yeah.
my mother didn't drive. I should point that out. She didn't drive. So for her to go get it, she would have had to walk that mile to the store
Right,
to get it.
which-
So
A lot of men don't realize, and Andrea, you should be talking about this, not me, but women, when they're on their period, can chafe and other discomfort.
Mhm.
Go ahead. I'm going to shut
I
up.
just want to say the things that we think is normal should not be normal. But we go through life anyway thinking it is. And men, God, just 1 week. That's all you need is 1 week and you'll understand.
Mm.
But they'd have better products out there, you
The
know.
world would be different.
There's a lot of people telling you this is the way it is, and not anywhere near enough people asking why.
Yeah.
And
It's
don't
not
Why
even,
is it this
supposed to
way?
be
There's
that
no
way.
logic behind it.
yeah, and don't even get us started on women's health and medicine.
That's another show.
Okay,
We'll-
let's
Oh,
wrap this
totally
up
another
because
show.
we have taken what was supposed to be a 45-minute show and turned it into 2 topics. Because
This was good.
should have been 2 shows. Kevin, go ahead. We can keep going.
Flipping back to going back past the pink tax right to the top of the show, restrictions on what you can buy with food stamps, and you were talking about the fact that you can't buy medicine, and even to the point where if a tea is considered medicinal.
Yeah,
I
that's
wanna
crazy.
I want to make a curry tonight. Can I not buy ginger? Can I not buy turmeric?
You can. You can.
Because they're spices, but they're also medicinal. Where do you draw the line?
Not a
Garlic,
Korean stew.
onions.
And
Yeah.
also tying that back in, this weirdness to me anyway, with the cultural divide we've discussed about these restrictions. We spoke earlier about the potential for abuse with how the UK does this system. We just determined this is your monthly benefit money. There you go. Do what you fucking like with it. The one side of the coin is the abuse. You know, I can feed my kids, or if I really feel like it, I could book a 2-week holiday, all inclusive in Tenerife. I can go and buy a flat screen TV. I can do what I
Yeah.
fucking want with it. It's my money. The onus is on me to be responsible with it. But the flip side of that coin is I'm a woman. I'm not limited to what I can spend that money on. If I need tampons, that's where my benefit money is going. I can quite happily walk in, use my benefit money, and buy whatever I want with it. It's my personal choice.
And that would make a
That's-
big difference. This was
Yeah.
a long time ago. I remember in the 1900s, and I didn't have money, but I had benefits. I remember crying because I could not afford feminine products.
Yeah.
It was bad. But people don't think of that. So
Yeah, I don't. Again, you know, there's a lot of things that I don't understand, and it's only because we grew up in different cultures more so than we believe sometimes, as we know from 12 years of talking to each other. But I don't understand a system that says we will make sure that you can feed yourself and look after yourself and not suffer malnutrition. But as far as we're concerned, you can bleed all over the floor. That's not welfare. That's selective welfare. And if welfare is selective, it's not welfare anymore.
There we go. Ed, any closing thoughts from you?
Wow, we've covered so much in the last 45 minutes of this 20-minute show. I'm not really sure where I would begin to start on a closing thought, but I will tell a quote from my dad because I do feel the same way, especially lately. Some people get welfare checks. I get a farewell check because farewell, it's gone as soon as I get it.
Andrea?
Yeah. Oh, we need a part 2 one day. That's all I can say.
There used to be a pun here in the UK that's not so relevant anymore. Now we've gone to, like we said earlier, digital forms of payment. When you used to get issued with a welfare check, like a literal physical paper check sent to you in the mail that you then had to go and cash at a post office, pay into an account or whatever. In the UK, they were bright green. And the joke always used to be, what's green and takes 2 hours to drink? A gyro check.
Here's my closing thoughts. Ed, you were pointing at something. Did you have
No,
something else?
they used to be bright green
Okay.
here as well.
Okay. Here's what I'll say for my closing thoughts on this topic. The last half of the show is what I want to cover because we covered a lot of things, and the point in the first half of the show I was making is maybe we need more restrictions because people are buying stuff they don't need, or maybe we need to just let them buy what they buy because it's not up to us. It's a constant ongoing conversation. And this is the problem with letting 65 to 75-year-old predominantly white men decide everything for a whole society that is a very mixed society. There is wisdom and experience there. There is also prejudice and bias there, intended or not. And my best example for that is here are 3 men that care and are kind to women and give a damn. And how much talk time did Andrea have in the last half of this show compared to us? And we're the good guys out of the bunch. So realize
I was watching.
I know, but sometimes some people don't speak up. You have to stop and ask them for their input because they're so used to not being allowed to speak up for themselves and others in their situation that it's more important to listen than talk.
It's also conditioned that
I was talking. I'm so sorry. I'm so
Bitch.
sorry. Go ahead.
see,
Okay.
that no matter what you say, nobody gives a shit. They just do what they want to do.
Okay, we're extending the show here, but interesting, Travis, because I kept looking at her and looking at her and looking at her. It's like, Andrea, talk, Andrea, talk, Andrea, talk. All the men are talking, Andrea, talk.
But there are times where you have to stop and say it out loud and make the other people be quiet. Ed, there's times we have to do this with you with certain topics because you should have the louder voice on that topic tonight.
Because I'm black, yeah.
Absolutely. And bald.
But it was because you were a boomer.
Oh, yeah, old. I meant old, not bald. My bad.
Bitches.
So,
Closing toast.
yeah, here's
Oh, shit.
to caring. And also, more so, caring about our women. And even more than that, shutting up to let them tell us what they need cared for. Goddamn women. What a great show, folks. Let me wrap
Oh my
this up
fucking
here.
God.
I'm doing the wrap up. I'm talking here.
Oh, thought you were done.
We're at an
Now you
hour.
know how it feels.
It'll be an
He's-
hour, 15 minutes for this show.
He's mansplaining.
So we took what we thought was one topic and it should have been 2 topics. So this was obviously an important topic and more so the second half than the first half.
Yeah, absolutely.
Drop us your thoughts and your input and your questions at Talk
Tell
to
us
the
if you
Tavern.
want part 2.
Yeah, if you want a part 2, that's a great point.
Yeah, we can do a part 2.
And if you guys understand how frustrated, because I was talking.
The man
We can,
approved.
we can also provide you with a mailing address if you'd like to send Andrea free feminine products.
Yeah, actually, yeah. You pass this show on, and we might even split this in 2. So if this sounds like a weird closing because you're like, what the fuck are they talking about? We decided it was long enough to make 2 shows out of it, and we cut it in half. Yeah, good luck to Steve, our sound guy, cutting that and clipping that and pulling the first out of it with the second.
We love
Don't
you,
worry
Steve.
about it,
You're the
Steve. Just
best.
leave it as is. We'll be like, look,
We'll
this is
have a
continuation.
double leg
It's
show.
fine.
Katina wants a part 2. So what I need to know
Well,
is
so then we're gonna have a part 2.
what does part 2 cover, and I need somebody else here besides men. I need to
Hey,
have
Katina,
right.
you want to gang up with me?
Yeah, we could talk about that. Anyhow, you guys have a great night. Thank you for joining us here in the tavern. Make sure you join us again on the next episode to raise a glass and voice some frustration and laugh about shit that we shouldn't laugh about. So we already did the toast, Kevin. Put your glass down.
I just want an excuse to drink again.
That's fair.
Drink again, baby.
Okay.
All right. Good
We're
night,
fucking on.
everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Andrea,
Katina, do you
wanna
have a computer?
Did you want to say good night, Andrea?
Oh,
Say good night.
I
What?
said good night.
The men were talking over
I
you.
thought we
Sorry.
said good night. I'm sorry.
Oh
We're
my
done.